Hey knitters! Welcome to this tutorial for Fireside Knits by Knit Eco Chic. We'll be covering two topics today: the alternated cable cast-on method for 1x1 rib, as well as the transition between the cuff and the sleeve. The reason you want the alternated cable cast-on for 1x1 rib is because it takes the rib all the way to the cuff, making a really nice edge that doesn't require any finishing. So there's the front and the back. To begin, start with a slip knot or a backwards loop, depending upon your preference. Then work one knitted cast on. You now have 2 stitches on your needle. And you have the option of beginning with either a knitted cable cast on next or a purled cable cast on next. You'll check your pattern for specific directions. For Fireside Knits, you want the knitted cable cast on. Go between the 2 stitches and cast on. Now a purled cabled cast on. Go between the 2 stitches from the back and purl and slip it to your needle. Now a knitted cabled cast on between the 2 stitches, knit and slip onto your needle, and a purled cable cast on. Go between the 2 stitches, purl and slip on your needle, and continue in this method until you have reached the total number of cast on stitches for your size. And there's your cast on row. When you are finished, begin working in pattern. You'll want to place a locking stitch marker to designate your right side row, which is the first row you're knitting. And you can work the cast on straight needles or DPNs as you prefer. It's not until you switch to your main color that you go to in the round knitting, and then you'll do magic loop on circulars or DPNs, whatever your preference is. Now that I've got some stitches done, I'm going to slip on my locking stitch marker to mark the right side of my work. And just go between a stitch. Lock it in place, and then you'll know that's your right side. The final row of your cuff will always be a wrong side row, and that doesn't change regardless of whether you're working the substituting yarn or the regular directions. You want to end at the end of a wrong side row. And you can just assume I've knit the required number of rows as opposed to just 2 to demonstrate. Okay. Transitioning from the cast on tutorial into the join tutorial. I just finished the wrong side row, and I've got my main color here. So I'm going to slip to the size that I'm knitting per the directions. For this sample, it'll be the last 9. And you just kiss your needles and move the stitches from one to the other. If you're using DPNs, just rotate to the spot. Oh, went too far. Okay. And place a start marker. And knit to the end. Now I'm just going to magic loop this so that my stitches can join in the round. Need to cast on 2 stitches to fill the gap in your cuff. And I'm just going to use a backwards loop cast on for 2 and join in the round and knit to the last 2 stitches. And this knit row will become your turn row for the cuff. And you'll see in just a second how that works. Knit 2 together. After you finish the knit 2 together, you work in pattern for the sleeve. All right. And the magic of magic loop is I can now show you how this all works. So this is your left sleeve. Your hand goes in there, and then that will turn up like that. And there you have it. My arm goes all the way in to the sleeve. You can see this knitted row, and that's where you have a natural turn for your cuff. The slit on the cuff is on the outside of your arm. And because you worked in twisted rib both on the right and the wrong side, you have a beautiful cuff. The right side always remains the right side, and then after you're finished and you wear it, when you flip, the wrong side shows. Thank you for watching this tutorial on Fireside Knits by Knit Eco Chic. I hope you enjoy the pattern and you get a lot of use out of the alternating cable cast on, as well as this cuff trick. Happy knitting!